Give me a little intro there, Gomer.
There's no turning back now.
Let's put on the show.
You are listening to the Station 71 podcast. My name is Mario, and this week I'm joined by my co-host,
Brian.
And we've got a very special guest this week with us. Say hello, John.
Hello, John.
John has graciously somehow asked us to help him plan part of his Disney trip that he's going on for his 10-year anniversary. I don't know how we landed here.
I'm not so sure that I would call holding a gun to my head and threatening me with live bullets as volunteering a day of my vacation, but that's fine. We'll go with it.
I mean, why not?
Well, I do love how you came to us wanting to do a crossover episode, but it's really just like, hey, I need you to plan some stuff out for me that I don't want to do. And then here we are.
I also love the speed in which we decided that this was going to happen, because just to peek behind the curtain for a second, John texted me Sunday the 1st and said, I'm going to do an episode suggestion, Disney anniversary date night. And I said, yeah, we could do that. And then I said, we could do next week. And he said daytime. And then we kind of planned it. We lost a little bit of the time. And now we're here. We're recording this episode almost
On
2 weeks
what,
later.
12th?
Yeah. So thank you for being flexible with your schedule and deciding to come on our show and let us plan for you.
Yeah.
I don't know how this is going to go, but we'll try our best to give you some romantic date night ideas that aren't just putt-putt.
I'm just telling you, with
I mean,
100% certainty, whatever you give me, we are doing exactly as you give it to us.
Okay.
So,
Put the
hopefully
pressure
it's
on.
PG. Yeah.
And then I think the discussion here was maybe do a follow-up episode and tell us how it went.
Yeah, we'll see if it falls apart. Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Okay, so the pressure's really on, Brian. We gotta come through here.
You guys are like my Bridgerton matchmakers right now, and
honestly, this just feels like an episode of the Muppets. Like, everything's gonna start perfectly fine, and then just the wheels are gonna slowly fall apart, and it's gonna be a mess.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I love it. And I'm more excited for the follow-up episode, I think, than I am this one. Not to devalue this episode that we haven't even recorded yet, but I am more excited for the sequel.
I think that's where it's going to really come together.
And I think we need to have both of y'all come on and give us like your own separate ratings of how like the night went.
I also need to ask, does Alicia know about this?
She does, yeah. So So here's the cadence of what this looks like, right? So I came up with this idea as we were recording our first episode of season 3 for the Hyperion review, and I'm like, oh, this would be a good idea. Let me text Mario. And the original idea that I had pitched you was, oh, pick a date dinner for us. And then I sat there for like 2 days, and I'm like, that's not going to get a whole episode. We need more than that. So then it turned into a date day at Disney, and then I told Alicia, and she's like, yeah, whatever. She's not excited about it at all. I'm sitting here going like, let's do it. This is going to be great. She's like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. Just get me drunk.
So we have to plan something really good, and then she's going to love it, and it'll be perfect. Or she's going to hate it, and we're never going to be allowed to talk to you again.
Yeah, and then what we're going to have to do is you'll ask me, and then I'll leave the room, and then you'll interview her, and then at the end of the episode, we'll see how I feel about what she said.
There we go.
Or vice versa.
Perfect. Before we dive into that, and to give Brian and I a little bit of time to brainstorm, I do have some news on here that we have to talk about this week. And feel free to chime in, John. Of course, you can discuss this with us.
Bob Chapek is fired.
I wish. But let's start things off with a piece of news about how nature is healing itself. And Kevin has returned as a roaming character to Disney's Animal Kingdom. So
this makes me so happy.
Yeah, same. This is like one of my favorite character experiences, and it's so simple. So I don't want to say dumb, but like this feels like it belongs in Animal Kingdom, and I just love I love seeing Kevin walk around.
Definitely. And I think part of it is just that any of the walk around characters are immediately more fun because it just feels like, you're more in that world that you're completely in it. You're not just like going somewhere to see a character. Like the characters are walking around in the world that you're in. And also because Kevin is like so gigantic and like everybody immediately sees him and it like in a good way, like causes a huge disturbance to everybody that's walking around. Everybody stops and points and stares and says, "It's Kevin." So like, yeah, it was a big part of the experience of Animal Kingdom, and I'm definitely glad that she's back.
Agreed. One of my favorite like memories of seeing Kevin was I just randomly stumbled upon seeing Kevin in Animal Kingdom one time, as you usually do, and she was running over to Russell and they hugged in the middle of like the sidewalk, and it was
Aw.
just so perfect and wholesome, and yeah, it was everything that I wanted that interaction to be.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of nature healing itself, it looks like we have a final performance for Kite Tales. May 26th is going to be the last show of Kite Tales. So long.
I gotta say, I've never seen this. When we went to Disney last year, we went to Animal Kingdom one day for like 2 hours. And what we did was we rode Navi River Journey, we rode Flight of Passage. I got to eat the cheeseburger pods for the first time, which are amazing. And it was a torrential downpour, and we're just like, screw this, let's go. And I'm perfectly fine with having not seen that Kite Tail show because I just can't imagine that it's good at all.
I've seen exactly 5 minutes of the show on TikTok, and that's exactly it.
That's all you need.
That's all I needed.
I'm just excited or I don't want to say excited because I don't know if it's going to actually happen, but like for Animal Kingdom to finally have a show that just, functions. It's like everything that's come out the past 5 years, it seems like it's had some kind of very dramatic failure during one of the shows.
That's a
And this was
very
no
tall
different.
order to have Animal Kingdom have a functioning show.
Well, it's kind of like, and not that it's a bad thing, but Disney has been pushing the bounds of creativity and technology and kites apparently at Animal
Kites,
Kingdom.
apparently.
But it seems like it's like, we could just have like a nighttime show that kind of leans on the stuff we already know. Like it's like somebody is dead set on making jet skis with something pulled behind them work in a show at Animal Kingdom, and they will not let that go.
It just feels very Six Flags. I don't know
Yeah,
how
it
else to describe
does.
it. Like this is something I would see at Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey, after they get done doing the Lethal Weapon motorboat show.
Ouch.
Right? Mario, I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's ouch.
Right before they do the what was that fireworks show they did at the end of the night? Camelot with the two-headed dragon?
I don't think they even do that anymore, to be completely
No,
fair.
no, they don't do shit. I'm sorry, I forgot. I can't talk like that on your show. They don't do anything.
Yeah, we can. We
Um,
we do
We
from
just
time
throw an
to
explicit
time.
rating on here.
Yeah. I thought we
Um,
actually used to go through and beep stuff out, and now we're just like, this is an explicit episode.
I mean, let's face it. You talk to most of your audience on the Discord now anyway, so
Yeah.
we
That's
know
also
what they're
fair.
like.
I am kind of curious about this because, the show is ending for you to sit down and watch this whole thing, but apparently they're still going to have the jet skis running just randomly throughout the day, pulling a kite behind them. So
I feel like
I
that'll
mean-
be a better experience than
Yeah.
what was already there. Like a random kite blowing on the water versus let me sit down for 20 minutes and hope that a kite doesn't crash into me. I think that
Yeah.
just sounds like a better experience.
Again, Six Flags.
Yeah.
No, this is kind of like cavalcades for me. Like, I'm perfectly fine never seeing a single parade ever again in my life. I think the cavalcades are so much better. And if I could watch 6 cavalcades for 5 minutes instead of one 45-minute parade, I will sit for 30 seconds and watch a kite go around the lake instead of for 20 minutes, wondering if that's how I'm gonna go out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I agree with you with that. Like, there's two parades that I want to sit down and watch. That's Boo to You and Main Street Electrical Parade if it ever comes back. And everything else, I'm kind of just like, it's not worth the,
Yeah.
having to find a place to watch it, the crowds that develop afterwards and everything. So I definitely agree with you on that one.
Pixar Play Parade's another great one. I don't know. I doubt that'll ever come to the East Coast. That's kind of a California. I don't even know if they still run it at California Adventure, but that was a fun parade. I really enjoyed that one.
I like parades, so I'm just gonna not.
Well, don't worry. We'll leave it. We'll let you have this one, okay, Mario?
That's fair. That's fair. I appreciate the giving me this one.
As your guest, I'm going to give you this one.
Every other one's gonna be a charge tonight. So some more stuff that we've got going on. These two kind of tie together. It looks like they've released some new concept art for Epcot, specifically the Epcot Gardens area that's going to kind of act as like a centralized festival showcase for the World Celebration area. And the big thing about this is that they also seem to have omitted the update for Spaceship Earth in these concept arts. So looks like we're getting more details on the future of Epcot. It still seems like they're kind of running it to the budget and changing things on the fly, but we'll see what happens. I'm just kind of glad that Spaceship Earth isn't really going to go anywhere, hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, if one of the things had to go, I'm with them on this choice of like working on the aesthetics of Epcot and leaving Spaceship Earth alone. Like, it, in my opinion, doesn't need to change. So if the money needs to be spent elsewhere to improve the mess that Epcot is right now with all the construction going on, I'm for that.
Yeah.
Well, okay, maybe I'm missing something. What were they changing about Spaceship Earth? Was it?
Oh, the whole ride was getting an overhaul.
Mhm.
I just realized that
okay.
I said I was going to send you these links and I haven't sent you a single
No, that's
one.
okay.
So originally in the last concept art that they were talking about, there was going to be like an actual overhaul of Spaceship Earth. They showed like kind of concept sketches for the ride and then just general like it was getting an update essentially. But now it seems like that's not the case. It just kind of seems like it's staying the same, which is fair because it's one of the last ones for them to touch. So, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? I do remember this now.
Oh, because I just smacked my phone into my microphone. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, I don't know. Epcot's my park, and if they mess it up, I'm gonna be pissed. That's all I'm saying. Right now, I'm not too happy with the walls everywhere. So
Definitely feels like being in a maze as you walk through the park.
But I mean, at this point, once a year we get something new. So last year it was a gift shop. This year we got a restaurant and a ride. Next year we might get some flowers. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. I'm hoping that they can just fix Epcot so that it's not construction walls by the next time that I'm there. That's all I want. I don't want to walk through that maze again.
Don't blame you.
I mean, that could be a fun date night thing, right? Try and navigate your way through the Epcot construction walls.
Yeah. I mean, some people pay to do like corn mazes and stuff.
Yeah.
You can just go to Epcot and get
Dude,
rides.
Disney's
too.
missing an opportunity here.
Yeah, just replace the wooden walls with like stacks of hay and you're good to go, man. Now it's an attraction.
A very goofy food and wine maze.
I love it. As you get more drunk, it gets more difficult too.
Oh, well, that was the last little bit of news that we had. So I guess we've come to the time that we've been putting off. We have to start planning John's trip. So I wanted to ask you a couple preliminary questions prior to us talking about this. And then I guess we can kind of decide how we're doing it. I just threw date night ideas into the show notes, but I think you wanted more of a formal day plan. So I guess we'll discuss it kind of plan it on the fly and then lock some stuff in. I think that's the only way that we're going to be able to do this.
Makes sense.
So my first couple questions, anything that you specifically know will not go over well as a date night? Like, is there anything that's off the table already?
Seafood.
Okay.
Not on my part. Like, I'll eat it all day long. But like, I'm not, how would I, what's that restaurant called? The Coral Seas Cafe or something like that?
Reef?
Coral Reef. Yeah. Look, I'm making up restaurants now. The Coral Reef, I would eat, and what, Alicia's going to get, chicken fingers. Like, I'm not going to pay $60 to get chicken fingers when I can get that at the Garden Grill,
Yeah, that's fair. Did you have anything that you want to ask before I start just throwing questions out there, Brian?
Yeah, no, just on that same note, any like allergies, any like things we need to be aware of as far as food?
No, not so much. Other than just my wife tends to be a little picky. The last, this is going to be fun. I don't think I've ever said this live in public before. One of the most adventures she's ever gotten at Disney was by accident. On our honeymoon, we went to, what's the restaurant in Wilderness Lodge? Like the nice one.
Oh, what is the nice one?
Yeah, so like you got the Roaring Fork, which is the quick service, and then you've got, what do you call it, which is like the all you can eat family style, and then you've got like the nice one.
I can picture it, but I don't.
Yeah,
I've
got like Storytellers in my head right now, but I think they rethemed it. I don't know.
Was it Artist Point?
It was Artist Point. Thank you.
Okay.
The most adventurous she's ever gotten in front of me was completely by accident. She ordered a buffalo steak. And she thought it was called the buffalo steak because it was really big, not because it was made of buffalo. And she got 3/4 of the way through it. And then I had to explain to her that it was buffalo. And she's like, oh, this is pretty good.
Wow. Well, at least she enjoyed it and wasn't immediately like, oh, no.
But outside of that, she's a relatively picky eater.
Yeah. Like chicken sandwiches, chicken nuggets, mac and cheese, Yeah, like toddler specific things, but
she'll go out of her comfort zone.
Yeah, no, she'll go out of her comfort zone, but like it has to sound good, and it would probably need a picture. I am not painting a good picture of my wife right now.
No, that's fair. Like, you wouldn't go to, say, like Skipper Canteen and order something off the menu that you can't physically see.
I would. She would not.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
I will literally walk into a restaurant and go, surprise me, and just let the waiter pick what I'm eating that night.
Honestly, for you, that kind of tracks. I guess the other thing that I specifically wanted to know, because I'm going to try to avoid these, is there any specific places that you guys, or that she specifically really likes? Like any restaurants that you guys go to because it's her favorite, or...
No, not really. I would say we avoid more places than we make a point of going to.
All right, but we try
to
yeah, we try to try something new. We want to try something new every time we go. So, but I'm trying to think, like, she loves Ohana, right?
Mm.
We've gone to Boma a couple times for breakfast, but like we've never gone for dinner. So that was something we were considering. If you guys don't suggest Steakhouse 71, I feel like you're missing an opportunity just because of the name.
Off the record, is that you hinting to us that we should suggest that because of our conversation we had previously?
No. I personally, I would say don't suggest that one because I'm going to take her to Steakhouse 71 anyway. I just thought it would be a funny name drop. No, I'm just waiting for reservations to open up, and I'm probably going to take her there because she's kind of looked at the menu and went, oh, that looks good. So that's a win.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. It's good to know that we at least have that kind of as a baseline too.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, like, all the places we have to go, right? Like, for a while there, it was Earl of Sandwich was like, you have to go there. Now it's kind of like, we need to go to Wawa, which isn't even like Disney, But
that's like such a weird sidestep.
Yeah. But that should give you an idea of like what her palate is like. The
That's
fact
fair,
that
yeah.
she will choose a Wawa over, you know, like she's the type of person, if we were going to go to Six Flags, we're going to get hoagies from Wawa and go sit in the parking lot and eat them instead of eating a restaurant in the theme park.
I
Like,
mean, I think
At
that's kind of
Six
the
Flags,
same
that's a
choice,
good
though.
choice. Yeah, that's a good decision.
As someone that has been to the Six Flags in Jackson, New Jersey recently, you go to the Wawa before.
Yeah, no. Is Granny's Kitchen still there? Is she's still making her fried chicken?
Yes, and it's always
Okay.
crowded. There was side story. I don't know if you guys have seen this. We are so going to be off topic tonight. There was an article that went around about a guy that bought the season pass for Six Flags with the dining plan option.
I
And
saw.
it was like 4 meals a week or something at the park, and he actually saved money on his food budget.
Yeah, but now he has cholesterol problems and is probably going to die 10
And
years
diabetes
early.
and can't fit on any of the
Yeah.
rides that he bought an annual pass for.
That's just, that whole concept is hysterical to me, that somebody would just buy the dining plan specifically to eat at Six Flags and try to save the money. But that's not the point of this episode.
I was looking that up just like randomly, maybe a year ago, like what a season pass at, like for me, it would have been Six Flags Over Georgia cost. But like, yeah, the fact that they have a season or annual pass that gets you free food is pretty wild.
Can you imagine like Disney has an annual pass that gives you free food and like you can go to Victoria Albert's and not pay a dime?
Oh, there
They
I'd
would
be all over it.
never.
I know.
The funny thing about Six Flags season passes is like you go in the park once and it actually saves you money.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, back to the normal topic at hand.
Back to date night.
Yeah. Other question, because we're talking full day trip. Are there any experiences that you guys have done in the parks that you want to cross off the list, or like were hits that you would say would also kind of give us a baseline, like Keys to the Kingdom or stuff like that?
Well, I would say, Keys to the Kingdom would be wasted because we both worked there.
Right.
My wife specifically in Magic Kingdom, so like she's had that, and she had it. She got paid to do it instead of paying someone to do it for her. I would say, we've kind of always talked of like, oh, maybe the Seeds tour would be cool. Like
Okay.
we've never done that, and it's fairly reasonably priced.
Mm-hmm.
That's the tough part about having been a cast member, because a lot of the stuff that people pay for access, we have like accidentally done, or
Yeah.
just like walked around. Like, I've been in the Utilidors, I've seen the tunnels. She walked through them every day to get to work like that. Like, okay, people are like, oh, I'm gonna pay $150 to go see that, and I'm like, shit, I got a haircut. It's like so I would say a lot of the stuff that people pay for exclusivity on, you could probably avoid because we've probably either done it or
That's fair. I was
wandered into it.
kind of thinking behind the scenes anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same
Because
here.
I feel like we've talked about that a little bit, that like it feels like such a good value for what you get, because it's not super expensive. Plus it would be something different. And I feel like the hardest thing about planning a trip for somebody that's been so often is finding something new or finding something that you'll
Yes.
enjoy. And that's kind of like the real challenge right now, at least for me. I don't know if you're in that same spot, Brian, where it's like,
Oh, no,
I want to
hear
find
you.
something that I know you haven't done, or
Yeah.
something that I feel like would be at least a, hey, that was a cool experience and we've done that before, or we haven't done that before.
Well, and I'll say, kind of what I'm looking for, I guess, more than anything else, is like, what are things that we can do that we can't normally do with children?
Yeah, that's
So-
a really good point too.
Probably going to be some alcohol-based things going on there, because I'm not a fan of. One of my biggest pet peeves is when you've got kids and you've got these dads that are just like blitzed out of their mind, and you could just tell the wives are ready to beat them. Like that's just not enjoyable for me as the person watching it, but I can't imagine that's enjoyable for the family. So I refuse to be that person. But now I have an opportunity to be that person without my children and set whatever example I want to set for the public. Let's do it.
Here's another question for you. Where are you guys staying?
We are at Pop.
Okay.
Okay.
We're using the Disney Plus 25% off offer too. So, and the
Neat.
reason we chose Pop
Oh,
is because of the Skyliner, because my wife thought she was going to hate it, and that has become our favorite mode of transportation.
Have fun with that.
I still have not been on the
No.
Skyliner.
Oh
Same
man, dude,
here.
it's fun. I love it. It's we've only, and I'm not gonna paint a good picture, I guess, but like we've only been stopped on it once, and it was only for like 5 minutes. Now, if you talk to Frankie, he's been stopped on it every single time he's been on it. But we love it, and just to like sit and chill and cruise. And there's a really fantastic, I don't know if you guys know this, the Riviera, by far the best quick service on property.
Really?
Haven't been there yet.
Far. Oh my God, we
Hmm.
stayed there in June. By far, I will literally drive out of my way to go to the food quick service at Riviera. Anyway, not the topic.
Yeah, that's good to know though, because Brian, are we going to end our night the same way, like idea wise? Because as soon as John said alcohol, my mind went one place, and I'm sure yours did too.
So there was definitely one place, but I think I might even have a different suggestion.
Oh,
Not that that's
interesting.
ever a bad choice, but
No.
we can get to that.
Yeah.
But so to like go back on topic, some things I would say avoid that like we've already done, like Hoop-Dee-Doo review. We've already done that. So I don't know that we necessarily need to go back. And if I was going to do that, I would go with my children.
My head was kind of in that spot. I was like, I feel like the dining experiences that you probably have done are probably things that you don't really need to do again unless you're taking your kids to experience them for the first time, I guess.
Yeah. And like, oh, Frankie must know we were talking about him. We had just like, we're going in June as a family, and then we're going back in August for our date night. And like we're going to Ohana for breakfast. So like that one
Okay.
we're probably not going to do again. So if you had that on the list, you could probably nix that one. We're doing Boathouse in June, so you could probably, if that was on there, you knock that one off. And that's all we have planned so far. So there you go.
Okay. So it's kind of a free slate.
Yeah, I mean, you guys literally could suggest anything, and I will. If you give me something, I'll be like, I don't know about
feel
that,
free to nix anything too.
Yes,
like
please
we're not
do.
going to tell you to do something and then get stuck in that space. So how do we want to start? Do we want to just like throw ideas at the wall, or do we want to like actually plan it?
Well, so let's. I think we had a good start there since we were all on agreement about behind the seeds. So obviously that would put you in Epcot, right? If we decide to do that.
Yep.
I
And-
think behind the seeds is, like you said, it's one of the best values, and not that it's necessarily bad to bring kids along with, but I think with especially younger kids, a lot of the tour would kind of be lost on them, and the length of it might be kind of hard to like keep a kid's attention through the whole thing. So I think this is definitely a good tour to go on, either without kids or at least without younger kids.
Yeah.
Okay. And we are trying to do an Epcot day because obviously we want to try and get a virtual queue for Guardians. So our head was already in that park anyway.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that's
And then I think the other park we're looking at, because we're going to be down there for like 3 days, 3 whole days, is Hollywood, because we haven't gotten Oga's Cantina yet. So we were looking at that as well.
Okay. I was kind of thinking of suggesting Oga's specifically because I know you're a big Star Wars person. I don't know how on the Star Wars person spectrum that Alicia is, but
She is a Star Wars fan by marriage.
Okay.
And I'd be willing to bet, like, if I were to drop dead tomorrow, she would still enjoy a Star Wars movie, but she's not going to go out of her way.
Now,
That's
I'll
fair.
say I've never admitted to being the biggest Star Wars fan. I got more into it recently, but I think you can go to Oga's and have a good time even without being the like hardcore Star Wars fan. The atmosphere in itself is really engaging, and it's fun and interactive, and even if you don't know the intricacies of everything that you're looking at, it's still a lot of fun. So
well, and on
I
top
would
of that, you were suggesting that you wanted to go somewhere with good drinks, and I've heard nothing but good things about Oga's drinks.
they really
So-
are good.
And I've also heard that they're super like innovative with how they handle them too. So I think that would be a good experience, and it would be a good place to catch some quiet time.
I'm not sure if I would call it quiet time, but it is a
Well-
good place to go.
Adult time.
Yes, adult time.
Okay, so I'm going to throw that on the list. So we're thinking Hollywood Studios and Epcot is the primary locations of where we're definitely going to be at some point. Let's talk food, just because that we're narrowed it down by park, and I feel like that's probably a good thing to look at. I really wanted to suggest the Tutto Gusto wine cellar. If you haven't been there, I thought the atmosphere there was really nice, and I like that it's a little bit more quiet than some of the other Epcot eateries. It's also not super on the expensive end, but
Is
just
that
throwing
Canada
out there.
or is that Italy?
Italy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's technically connected with the restaurant that's not Via Napoli. So Tutto Italia, they're connected, but it's the smaller portion of that, and really the only thing that they share is like a bathroom. Their menus are totally different. The wine cellar's a little bit more intimate. There's less tables, there's less noise, less families. I think that that's a nice little quiet spot to eat at if you're eating at in the parks at all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or if you want the exact opposite experience, you can go to La Cava. So
Yeah, that's also fair.
Okay, so is that the one? I think I saw it on TikTok. Is that the one where they make like the margarita out of ants?
I
don't
have
know if they do a
not seen a
margarita out of
margarita out of
ants.
ant. No, it's just a lot of tequila. I know that. It's definitely a more lively spot to grab a drink.
My only qualm with La Cava is that it can be super hard to get into.
Yeah.
It's very tiny. It's essentially just the little hole in the wall in the Mexico Pavilion.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great. Their drinks are great. I've had nothing but a good time there. But if you're on a bad day, there will be a line outside.
That's a very good point.
So, and you can't do like a dining reservation there because it's just a bar, right?
I don't think so.
No, you can't do a reservation, but it's almost never been an issue to get a table there because most people are just stopping there while they're drinking around the world.
Yeah, as far as I know, they don't even serve food, do they?
They have like small plates, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
La Cava del
Mhm.
Tequila. I'm looking it up right now.
I was just about to
I
say, I'm
honestly,
gonna
I
look
couldn't
at the
even tell
menu.
you where it's at right now.
So if you come into the Mexico Pavilion, like inside the
Okay.
pyramid, you go down the ramp, it's right to the right. You have to go down the right-hand side, but it's kind of like to the right.
That's why
and
the right hand
behind
bridge is always so busy. Okay,
Yes.
all right. I'm like, why is there a line? I thought it was for the restaurant.
Yeah, no. So the restaurant is obviously back further, but the La Cava is just right there. And I'm pretty sure they have small plates. If not, they're probably bringing them from. Oh, no, they don't have anything listed on here. They must be bringing that over from the restaurant. Then
Yeah, I'm looking at the thing. It's all alcohol right now.
I
all
will
drinks.
say if you're there to stop, like that may be a good stop on your day, like quick stop. I will definitely say you cannot go wrong stopping there to get a drink. I've had a good portion of the drinks on this menu, and they're very good.
Yes.
Well, I mean, all I needed to see was pineapple. I'm in.
There you go.
Nice. So I'm gonna
I
throw
put
that on
pineapple
our-
in everything. Pizza, drinks.
What's that? I think you're breaking up, John. Okay, so I've got La Cava on here too.
Oh, there we go. Tutto Gusto. They have a spaghetti kids entree. That's perfect. There we go. They got chicken tenders. For the record, I muted myself. Alicia walks in. She goes, "Hi, Mario. Hi, Brian. Bye, Mario. Bye, Brian."
Of course. But overall, I like specifically for this, I like the atmosphere. The food is really good too, but I think that this is a very nice, like, quiet place to sit, and
Okay.
it's usually not super, super expensive.
And this is Tutto Gusto that we're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, La Cava, you can also get tables at La Cava, but so like if you go in, you're looking at the bar, the tables are behind you. It's kind of like a long hallway type of deal. Not like I guess
Yeah.
hallway is a bad word, but it's a room that's longer widthwise than it is lengthwise.
Okay.
And the tables are just all the way in the back.
Okay.
So okay.
So when you walk into the Italy Pavilion, it's on the left because
Yes.
Via Napoli's straight back, right?
So I have to orient myself with Italy because it's been a minute. But Via Napoli is all the way in the back. I want to say it should be on the left because
Okay.
the main part of that Tutto Italia should be right in front of it. There's like a tiny small sign for Tutto Gusto.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on the left-hand side because on the right is stroller parking.
Gotcha. The only thing that I can tell you for sure where it is in the Italy Pavilion is Via Napoli.
Yeah. We just ate there for the first time in November of last year. Margarita pizza. So good.
Yeah. Yeah, that is probably my favorite pizza place on property.
Oh, well, that's because you haven't had the Riviera quick service margarita pizza yet, my friend.
You're gonna tell me that it's better.
It's
there?
better. I'm telling you it's better. 100%.
I will say if Kirsten was on this,
believe.
I was gonna say if Kirsten's on this or was on this episode, she would be fighting you on the experience because she goes there for the experience, not the.
I was about to say, yeah. How hot are the people bringing the pizza, the Riviera, to you?
You know, I gotta say I don't know because they didn't bring it to me because every time we ordered it, we were in our room and I just went down and picked it up. But they were very nice with the blueberry pancakes. Anyway, sorry. Let me see. So we are going to I just pulled it up. So we're going to Magic Kingdom on August 4th. We're going to Epcot on August 5th, and we're going to Hollywood on August 6th.
Okay.
And then we leave on the 7th.
Okay, so you've got full days in each park.
Yeah, well, and then Animal Kingdom, like we're doing on the last day because that's the day we leave. And as much as it pains to say, as an Animal Kingdom ex-employee, it's a half-day park.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's hard to disagree with that.
Jeff Heimbuck, if he heard that, would be punching me in the face right now.
How do you feel about Beaches and Cream?
Never been.
Okay, that was another one that this is a weird one that I kind of wanted to throw in, and especially since you're staying on a Skyliner resort, it would be relatively easy to get to as you're leaving Epcot. I don't know that I would recommend it for like dinner because I mean, I guess with Alicia being a picky eater, it's probably pretty decent, but their menu is
ice
like,
cream, isn't it?
Well, it's ice cream, but they also have like, hamburgers and sandwiches and stuff like that. So it may be like a good lunch spot too if you are going in the park midday. But you can also get ice cream there, and that's the big thing. I would say if you're gonna go for the ice cream because the food is not super spectacular, but it's fun to go. It's fun to have like if you can do the kitchen sink, it's fun to do that. They also have a smaller version of it too that you can do. That comes with a souvenir cup thing that's like little Mickey pants. So you can do that. That's fun. I don't know that I would recommend that just for the food, but that might be like hey, this was a cool date idea.
The ice cream.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's going on my suggestions list because you didn't sound too opposed to that.
No, like I said, new things, right?
Yeah.
We've ate at Cameo Cafe, so like we've been over there. We've just never ventured our way over to Beaches and Cream.
My one weird complaint about Beaches and Cream is that it is kind of like in an awkward spot.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like when we went to find it the one time that we were there, once you find it and it's pretty obvious where it is, but like getting to it was a little weird because you have to kind of go like around the pool, if I remember correctly. I probably also just went in the wrong direction, so
I thought it was right on the boardwalk.
I thought it was too, but now I might be confused.
Yeah.
I want to say it was in the actual resort.
Let's look at the Disney map.
Yeah, no, it's in the beach club. It's next to Cameo Cafe. Wow,
you're right.
Wow.
No, you're right.
Good job, Mario.
Whew, for once.
And And he didn't even need the map to get to the gift shop. Good for you,
That's
buddy.
wild.
Stepping up here.
But yeah, Beaches and Cream is really good. And then, especially just getting to walk around the boardwalk. And if we're doing this in the day, I feel like you miss a lot of what really makes the boardwalk great because it's better at night. But this is also, just a good place to walk
and now
around.
I'm thinking, like, if we're over there, why wouldn't you go overnight, get some ice cream, and then just kind of plop yourself down and watch the fireworks,
Yeah, that's probably a good call. And they have added a lot more to their menu recently too. Like I've noticed that they have those giant dessert milkshakes that have like a whole brownie or a piece of cake on top of them if you really want to go for that. So you could really do a lot of different things on their menu for dessert. But I think that's probably the right call is grab it, sit down and watch the fireworks from the boardwalk, or just, grab it and then head back on the Skyliner.
Yeah. Okay. So get drunk and then walk to the boardwalk, get ice cream, and then hope you can make it back to your hotel. Cool. I'm in so far.
Trying to think of other things I can just throw at the wall here. So you already have your park days planned out.
I do.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean we can't change them,
Yeah. I mean,
it's
that's also
early
fair.
enough that we could always adjust it, but for the most part, it is what it is. Also, we don't know what parks are going to be open early and open late at this point. That they don't have that calendar up yet. So a lot of that is dependent upon that too.
That's fair. You said you're staying at Pop, right?
Pop.
Okay.
Because it was $400 less than Art of Animation, which just boggles my mind.
Very good reason.
Yeah. The day that you come in, you're not doing a park that day, are you?
Technically speaking, we have one booked.
Okay.
We get in at like 7:00 at night.
Okay.
And I have Magic Kingdom booked right now, but I'm kind of banking on the fact that they're going to be open till midnight, so we could just drive from MCO to the hotel, drop and go.
Are you're driving in, or not driving in, but driving in from the airport?
Yeah, we rented a car.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, especially if you're getting in at 7:00, and you said Monday.
Thursday.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I have to make sure that this is even a thing that I can suggest to you.
Luckily, my employer, we get the fleet rate as employees, even if we're doing it for fun.
Nice.
So what it would cost me to do what the equivalent of Magical Express, whatever that is now, what it would cost me to do that is half the price of what it cost me to get the rental.
Hey, I mean,
so
there
I'm
you
like, why
go.
wouldn't I get a
Yeah.
car and then we could go to Wawa?
Oh man, it still blows my mind that people get so excited about Wawa.
For
to
me-
someone that has it around the corner from them at like literally every other stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
But you know what? For me, it's like, I don't have that out here anymore. The closest thing I get to that is like Speedway.
But yeah, okay. Okay,
Which
I
is-
mean, like, if that's your comparison, then yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
Wawa's way
depressing,
better.
Plus, their raspberry iced tea is just the best in the world.
One of
I'll
these days,
take
I'm
that.
gonna mail you a half gallon of raspberry iced tea.
Dude, I would kiss you on the lips. That's all I'm saying.
All right, maybe I won't. So my suggestion was going to be skip a park altogether and just go to Port Orleans and see Yeehaw Bob, hang out at the River Roost for a little bit. That'll kill a lot of time, and it's probably a good experience to have without the kids when you can order drinks, because I personally
Yes.
like the River Roost drinks a lot. But that's a suggestion.
I agree with that. I mean, obviously, seeing Yeehaw Bob is awesome. But if you're, want to go over there and grab something to eat too, I think Boat Rights is very slept on as
Yes.
a restaurant. And it definitely has a good, quiet, kind of romantic atmosphere.
I've
So-
ate there before.
It's one of me and Jordan's favorite places.
If you can't tell, we love We love our Port Orleans.
Oh, I love the
Absolutely.
French Quarter. I love it.
You're in the wrong place. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Riverside is the way to go.
I love their little make your own noodle bar that they have in the quick service over there too. Yes, I have ate at Boat Rights. You're gonna hate me. I wasn't impressed.
Okay. Well,
But that's
That's your
years ago.
opinion.
We're talking like 10
It's-
years ago.
So the thing with boat rights, I think for me specifically, and I feel free to agree or disagree with me, Brian, is it for a moderate level sit down dining service, it's pretty good.
yes.
I don't think it's like on par with the deluxe resorts, but
Oh, definitely not.
it's definitely like in comparison to for what it is, it's a pretty good resort.
Right. Like, we've always said Riverside is kind of like moderate plus. And I think a lot of the things about it hit
Yes.
that kind of halfway point. And I agree with the food. Like, Boat Rights is good, but it is not on par with any of the deluxes, but it is still better than most of the other offerings that the moderates have. And if you're over there to see Yeehaw Bob, or if you're staying there, I think it's a great place to grab something to eat before that.
Yeah.
I really like that idea actually, because let's face it, we're working and then we're gonna go to the airport and then we're gonna fly in and then we're gonna go to Magic Kingdom, Like
I
that's gonna be
think
a long
they-
day.
Yeah, and I think the nice thing, like, have you been over there to see Yeehaw Bob at all? Or no?
Years ago, like 10, we're talking probably 10 years ago.
Gotcha. So my whole thing with his show is you can pretty much walk up whenever and it's a
Mhm.
good time to catch it. Like, I think a lot of the live entertainment stuff benefits from being there the whole time. You could literally come sit down for an hour, have your drinks, listen to him play for a little bit, and be on your way, and it would still be just as fun as if you spent the whole night there.
Is he back?
Yes, he is
He's
back.
back.
Side note, I forgot how many cocktails River Roost has. Like, I'm looking at their menu. There's a good chunk of drinks on here.
I have to look this up.
Here, I'm sending the link. It's,
Okay.
I don't remember it being as big as it is, but there's a lot. And of course, they have the traditional magical star cocktail that everybody can get
Wait,
at
what
any
is
resort.
that?
The magical star, or
Yeah. I've
it's
never
the
had
one that comes with the glow cube.
Oh, okay.
That you can. It is like the same drink at any lounge that you can get it at, and I want to say about 50 to 60% of the lounges have that on there, unless they're like a themed one. And it's the same drink. It's the mango juice, passion fruit, liqueur, coconut rum, pineapple juice, and then the glow cube.
I love how that's one of the ingredients they list on the menu.
Yep.
And souvenir glow cube.
But every time I see that on a menu, I'm like,
Holy
yep, there it is.
cow. They do have a huge menu.
I feel like
Like-
every time that I've gone there, I've just looked at it really quick and said, I want this one. And I didn't realize just how extensive this list of drinks was.
I mean, they have 24 just like
Wow.
cocktails, and then they have 3 more quote unquote specialty cocktails. So, I mean, on top of all the other stuff that they have just, as a bar. That's wild.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've been to the River Roost.
I was about to say, I don't even remember, like, I probably just got some lame, normal cocktail when I went. I don't even know if I looked at this menu.
Yeah, I feel like the last time I went, I probably ordered something that I just knew I could order. That's like the curse of going to like any lounge or bar or whatever is like I always want to look at the specialty drinks that they have or like the fancy ones that they can make.
Mm-hmm.
But then I just order the same thing that I know.
Yeah, I'm guilty of doing that in a lot of places, like not just with drinks, but with food too.
Yeah.
So I try to push myself to not do that all the time.
The only downside is they don't list his schedule, which is a shame.
Well,
I'm
I
sure
would
his
I would
Facebook
assume
has
that
it.
he's just there whenever, at night.
Oh, he's got a set schedule.
Really?
Yeah, it's a very specific like number of days. I think he's there 5 days a week, but it's the same 5 days.
Iridescent Sipabration. That's the best name they could come up with.
Okay,
Could.
so you're
He could, like,
actually in
plow
luck.
through the text.
His schedule is Wednesday through Saturday, and he starts at 8:30 and goes till 11:45. So
Oh wow.
you could literally just show up whenever.
All right, that might be a winner right there.
We were also talking about the thing that you missed that was not really relevant to you being here, but their drink menu is pretty extensive.
Very extensive.
So River Roost, that's what I'm looking at.
Yes, you're looking at
Mhm.
River Roost and you're looking at Yeehaw Bob. So I'm gonna highlight that. on here.
Watermelon margarita. That sounds interesting.
We were just talking that for the number of times that we have both been there, I don't know that either of us has ordered anything off of their drink menu.
No. But now I really want to go and order multiple of these drinks.
You just sit there and listen to Bob.
So I've ordered stuff from their bar, but I
Mhm.
haven't ordered like I've ordered like a mojito or something like that I know I can get.
Like a rum and coke, yeah.
Yeah. But like not anything specifically listed on their menu.
Antioxidant lemonade. Like that doesn't sound like something I'd want to get.
No.
I think it's just because it has like acai in the vodka, which I'm not sure if that counts, but
Isn't it pronounced Akai?
is that how you say it? I don't even know.
I thought it was.
don't know.
I'm trying to figure out if I'm wrong or you're wrong. I don't know.
Oh, okay, now I gotta find this out.
Pronunciation.
Just gonna sit here and eat my McDonald's cheeseburger while we look.
That's okay. It is acai, according to Google.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So other suggestions. Let me see what we've got on here. So we know for sure that the River Roost is probably a winner for your first day. I like that idea just because it's relaxing.
Hmm.
But I'm a big fan of like not doing a park the first day you fly in, especially if it's late.
Yeah, I mean that's ultimately my concern is what does the timing look like, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm not
Mhm.
gonna go over there at 7:00 if they close at 8.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, at least with the River Roost, they're open till midnight.
Right. My concern
Um,
then becomes driving back, but we could always work on that.
You could always park and do the resort bus shuffle and then find an Uber back.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so that's a winner. Let's think about what did you say you had on your first actual day in the parks? Was that Magic Kingdom?
Hold on. It's gone. Give me a sec.
It's okay. I'll write them down if you want to give me them again.
All right, so the 4th is Magic Kingdom. That's the day we get there. The
Okay.
5th is Epcot. 6th is Hollywood Studios, and 7th is the day we leave. That's Animal Kingdom.
So 4th is Magic Kingdom, 5th is Epcot, 6th is. So if you did follow that, you would be eliminating Magic Kingdom entirely.
Which is probably not going to fly because I would cut out Animal Kingdom before I cut out Magic Kingdom.
Really?
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I feel the exact opposite. But
Yeah. I agree
Yeah, but
with
Magic
that
Kingdom is my
one.
wife's park. Like she loves that. You know,
that's fair. You
Yeah.
do have to. Andy would probably agree with that on there that we could not cut Magic Kingdom. If it were up to me, no. That would be the
I
last
figured you
part.
cut Hollywood Studios.
I have a weird relationship with Hollywood Studios.
Pretty cut and dry. Yeah, if I had to cut a park, it'd be Hollywood Studios.
I would sooner combine Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom than have to, keep Magic Kingdom on a 3-day list, I think.
Okay.
So Epcot Day, we were kind of talking about some of those things. Did anything that we said feel like a standout or no?
I mean, a lot of this is going to be what does Alicia think, right? So
Yeah. but
I'm
also
probably
you
gonna
know her
present
better than
seeds to her.
anyone,
Yeah.
so or you should.
Hold on.
That's staying in the
Oh, wait.
episode.
You said, hell no. Okay, the seeds is down.
Oh wow, that was a
That's a
stark
strong
contrast from what you
reaction.
said.
Yeah. Ooh.
Tell him that.
I would rather watch paint dry.
Oh,
All
that
right.
is some strong feelings.
Seeds is off the list.
All
Seeds
right,
is gone. All right.
thank God. Okay, so
That's all I need. I mean, if you want to stay here and talk to him, you can. We're planning a date day.
we're planning your entire trip.
Yes, 3 men who are both married and 2 of them have children are planning a date day for people that are married and are leaving their children at home. She just shrugged her shoulders and walked away.
So you clearly did not let her in on any of this.
No, I did. That's the thing. She just doesn't remember
Doesn't
anything
listen
I
to
tell
you.
her.
Okay.
She doesn't listen to me. No, go. No, they said I didn't tell
That
you
was-
anything.
We're creating problems now.
All right, so we went from planning John's 10th anniversary to planning John's divorce trip.
Yeah. All right. So solo Disney trip. Let's plan it out.
This is gonna be my solo moon.
So back to
I'm really
Epcot.
surprised. I'm really surprised by the seeds thing, by the way.
Are you?
Well, hey, it's
I remember
good we
her and I
found
talking
out.
about it one time. That kind of surprises me.
I mean, is she a fan of living with the land?
She's not a fan of anything interesting.
I mean, if she doesn't like living with the land, I feel like you should have known that she wasn't gonna like behind
No,
the
but this is the thing. We
scenes.
make a point of going on it all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is not painting me in a very good picture, in a very good light, is it?
I'm just kind of trying to think of like, I feel like Epcot for me is such a hard park to plan because, especially as a like, if you're going without kids and you're trying to make this like a without kids trip, the only thing that I can really feel like I would suggest would be like some lounges and places to drink, but I don't want this entire thing to turn into that.
I mean,
Even
that's
though-
fine. We haven't
I
been
was
able
gonna
to do that for 10 years, so.
I was gonna say, even though you kind of said that that's what you were aiming for.
Now, if you're doing the Epcot day, are y'all wanting to stay there in Epcot like full day 2-part close?
Not necessarily.
Okay, that's a good
We
question.
don't have to. I mean, if it makes sense, it makes sense, but we don't have to.
You know, because I was thinking, well, I mean, even what time is the nighttime show at Epcot now?
I'm looking it up now.
Because I was
I
gonna
mean,
say,
wanna
if
be
it's
fantastic.
well, if it's early enough to go get your ice cream and beaches and cream and do that, and then maybe head over to Disney Springs. I see Mario has some pretty good suggestions of a Disney Springs place
I
to
do.
go.
So Harmonia starts at 9, which I feel
Okay.
like. Do you really want to see Harmonious is also the question, because you said want to be Phantasmic, and that makes me think you don't want to see it.
Oh, I hated it. I thought it was terrible.
Okay, so it's not out
Yeah.
of the realm of possibilities that we just don't see it.
I could. That would be a leave it up to her situation. If she wanted to see it, great. But if not,
Yeah.
we'll go find something else to do. You know.
That's fair. Oh, Brian saying that we may make it to Disney Springs also gave me another thought. Do you want to talk about the one that was on here, and then I can talk about my sleeper pick?
Let's do it.
Okay, so the one that I had on here was the Edison. So
Okay.
I don't know if you've been there yet. The atmosphere there is pretty cool. I've only been there for lunch, and their food for lunch was pretty solid. And they also have the picky eater menu too. So you have like your hamburgers, your stuff, all of that is there. So it's not like it would be a hard sell food wise. I do think that it's definitely, I don't want to say it's a more adult place because I don't know that I would really even call it adult, but I think the atmosphere is more enjoyed when you're probably not worrying about kids.
I would say that the vast majority of the atmosphere would probably be lost on kids, and
Yes.
they would not enjoy it. So, yeah,
They have Edison light bulbs.
they have much more than that.
They have a lot.
And
Yeah,
cheese
definitely.
If you
It
are into the
is-
whole steampunk vibe, the Edison is like
Yeah,
a
it's
very
like
good place for that.
it's like neo steampunk. It has one of the most unique theming ideas of pretty much anywhere in Disney Springs, I think.
It also has this total side note, and I'm sorry I'm derailing this, but it also has probably one of the weirdest layouts of a Disney Springs restaurant too.
Yes.
So like you walk in through the front and you have to walk up a big set of steps, but it's only to get you to like the lobby, which is at the top of the steps, and you have to go down a set of stairs to go into the restaurant.
Mhm.
So it is a little awkwardly shaped, but it's very fun.
It
Very
looks
fun.
kind of like a speakeasy to me.
It's
kind
kind
of.
of. I think that's part of what they were trying to go for with the theming. I've only been there for dinner. At nighttime, it is a little bit more kind of upscale. I don't want to call it upscale because, like, we went in and just like
$43 for prime rib. Oh. Hello.
it is a little pricey.
It is a little, yeah.
But I definitely think it's one of the cooler restaurants for like an experience type deal in Disney
Yeah.
Springs.
So I mean, here's
And
the thing. I don't mind spending the money, but is it worth it? You know?
The food is very good.
The food is
Okay.
very good. I've only been there for lunch, and their lunch is also a little pricey, especially for what it looks like is listed on the menu. But I honestly, that was probably one of the places I actually really enjoyed my food that we had tried for the first time on that last trip that we went on.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you are in Disney Springs and you're looking for a restaurant and you're wanting more of like an experience type thing, what are your and Alicia's opinions on dinosaurs? Because I may have a suggestion for you. Okay.
About the rainforest, John.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the
Tropical
rainforest?
animals. How about that? Did that do anything for
I
you?
know you said you worked at Animal Kingdom, but
Oh.
how about
To use
animatronic animals?
to use a quote that was uttered not 10 minutes ago, I would rather watch paint dry.
But no, sleeper pick that I was thinking of, especially if you're looking for drinks, I really like the bar at Paradiso 37.
Okay.
I think that it's in an interesting spot because it's the outside bar where like there's that little like concrete patio. I like it personally because you can people watch really well there and their drinks are really good.
You have
It's-
good drinks.
It doesn't really have like an outstanding menu like how we were just talking about. The River Roost has like a very in-depth menu, but it is definitely a good place to sit, catch a couple minutes, grab a drink, and relax. Now you can also usually catch Beth's favorite Disney Springs patron, Eddie Maserati, there.
Is that the guy that
Yes.
wears like the short shorts and all the
Yep.
colorful
The
outfits?
bedazzled
Yep.
bin vest. Yeah.
I love, even if you don't know him by name, you know him.
He's been there forever.
He's a staple of Disney Springs at this point.
For sure.
That's the life I want to live, for the record. Like when I get old, I don't want to
Oh.
get paid. I just want to walk around in like flamboyant outfits and just make people happy.
Yeah.
The one time that I saw him there, we were at Paradiso 37, and they have like the way that their outside bar is set up. It's this big concrete patio, and the tables are like kind of patio tables. Like they have the metal tables with the high top chairs, and there was just enough room where it kind of felt like they had a dance floor, and there was someone playing like music through the speaker, and he was just having the time of his life dancing in the middle of Paradiso 37. And
Dude,
I,
that's it. That's the life, man.
right, that's
Right.
exactly what I want to live.
So
Okay.
that is a very good sleeper choice. As far as bars, I think the obvious, like, one that most people would suggest would be Jock Lindsay's, which I think
Yeah.
is very fun.
I've heard great things. I've never been.
It's good. They have good drinks. It is very small, so it's
It's the Indiana
difficult.
Jones themed one, right?
Yeah.
Yes, but like not even like in your face Indiana Jones theme. Like, I think it's very. I don't
It's
know.
the same kind of level that of themed that like Trader Sam's is to Jungle Cruise as that is to Indiana Jones, is what I would say.
Yes, like you don't have to be an Indiana Jones super fan or anything to enjoy it. Good atmosphere, definitely more quiet. Like it's a good place to kind of get out of Disney Springs. I feel like if you need to,
Yeah.
and they have very good drinks.
That's a fun little tea place. Is that a monkey? What's kind of? Oh, I bet you it's the monkey with the brains. Oh, that makes sense.
So the one thing I will say about Springs for me, and I don't know if you have other recommendations, for me it's really hard to recommend a lot of things here because I hate spending time here.
I
What?
agree.
So
I mean,
Why?
if it's good, I wouldn't say it's a great place to plan out like a romantic evening one-on-one with somebody. It's got a lot of stuff to do, but I think outside of this places like that you're stopping at, it's just a lot of hustle and bustle, and it's kind of annoying, in my opinion, to get from like one place to another within Disney Springs.
I don't like my Disney Springs experience being like I'm in an outdoor shopping mall. And it's weird to
Yes.
say that because like there are things that I like about Disney Springs, specifically like Homecoming. I will
Yes.
recommend that absolutely, which we can throw that on the list. I don't know if you've been there or if you have any
I
feelings
haven't.
about
Cool.
Homecoming is the like American.
Homecoming is the
Southern
southern.
style.
Oh,
Yeah.
so here's an interesting fact about Homecoming.
It's not
since
the
we're
barbecue
talking.
place when you come down the escalators, right?
No, that's Polite
Okay.
Pig.
Okay.
So Homecoming it's fried chicken essentially. It's like what you're going to order there.
You should be getting the fried chicken if
Yes.
you go.
They have waffle.
Yes.
Yes, they have chicken and waffles.
They also have chicken and donuts, which is a very interesting combination that you shouldn't sleep on because it's like a very sugary glazed donut with like very rich fried chicken, and it was a very great combination.
Like, don't think Krispy Kreme
No.
donut. It's not like that.
So two things about Homecoming specifically that I guess if we're throwing this on the list too, that I like and would say definitely consider. Their desserts are awesome. They have these massive slices of cake, which you could easily split.
And then some.
Yeah, and then some. But the other thing too, especially if you're thinking drink wise, you can actually get to go drinks from here. And they have their moonshine that you can carry around in a sippy cup, which is just a fantastic recommendation.
Okay. I'm down for a sippy cup.
But the food is incredible, and especially if Alicia is a little bit more on the like conservative side of branching out. Like, it's really good food that is just like, pretty normal comfort food. So
yeah,
I think that would be a good one to go to.
I will say you probably will need a reservation for this one though. This is one that you will more than likely need to get something reserved.
Okay.
All right, so we've thrown a couple suggestions at you. We're an hour into this episode now.
Yep.
I think we need to kind of streamline our thought process here and instead of spitballing, figure out just kind of where we should land with some of this stuff. Do you want to eat at the resorts at all? That was another question I wanted to ask. Like, I think those
Um,
work better as date nights anyway, but I don't know
Yeah.
if that's kind of like on your radar at all, or if you're just trying to experience the parks.
Yeah, so honestly, not so much the parks, right? Because when we're there with our kids, we're in the parks all day long. Like that's
Yeah.
what we're doing. This is all about like adult time. I don't know how else to describe it other than like we're just kind of going at our own pace, we're doing our own thing, and we're trying to do things that we would normally not do with kids. So
Yeah.
the idea of like, oh, go downtown, go here, go over to Port Orleans, like
That seems
solid
more
ideas. I
appealing.
love those. Yeah. I'm not opposed to going to a resort for food.
Okay.
We toss around Boma for dinner. I've heard their oxtail stew is amazing.
I actually had Chico, Boma, and Sanaa all listed on the same line here. So
Any of those is a great choice.
I like Boma, and I think Boma is a better pick for someone that is a picky eater because you have a lot of choices.
And it gives you a chance, if you are feeling adventurous, to branch out a little bit and not have to be committed to that.
Yes, that is my favorite thing about Boma, and I think that for that specific reason, it is kind of a slept-on restaurant because a lot of people don't really like the buffet aspect of it,
Yeah.
but that gives you the chance to try everything, right?
yeah.
And
Like,
it's got to be the best buffet, I think, on property.
I think selling it as a buffet is underselling it.
It is, definitely. I mean, think of it more of like, I don't know, going to like a high-end catered event,
Yeah.
Sure, they have all the like meat stations and everything, but you do get the chance. Like, there's a lot of just, I don't want to say normal, but just like kind of everyday food that anybody will eat. And then there's also the adventurous stuff. And that's the best part. Yeah. Like Mario said, plenty of different stuff to choose from.
So I would definitely say that's worth adventuring out for, honestly. Outside of that, like, I love the resorts for their restaurants, but I think you're going to spend, especially if you're only there for 3 days, you're going to spend a lot of travel time if you're eating solely at the restaurants, and that's not necessarily fun.
Though I do think that if you're going to go to a resort, like Animal Kingdom Lodge is one of the best to spend some time at.
Yeah.
Even if you're not staying there. You can always go look at the animals, grab a drink, just enjoy the atmosphere. There's a lot of stuff to do at Animal
Well, and
Kingdom
it's
Lodge.
quiet too, because that's where we
Right.
have our DVC is with Animal Kingdom. So we stay there quite a bit. And just the fact that like almost opposite, what is it down the street? The All-Star resorts, almost complete opposite of All-Star. When you get off the
Yeah.
bus, loud, there's
Mhm.
kids screaming, parents are arguing because they're tired at the end of the day. Like when you get to Animal Kingdom, it's like crickets, like
Yeah.
literal crickets and like bug sounds. Like it's crazy how different it is.
Yeah, I would definitely say that that's probably a good one to check out then, and you could spend some time there. So I'm going to throw that on our list of sounds
So
like a
basically
good
what
idea.
this has turned into is not so much John and Alicia's date night. Where can John and Alicia drink? This is
Yeah.
where we're landing.
I don't think that that's necessarily a bad idea.
Yeah.
You guys have been to Trader Sam's, right?
We have walked into Trader Sam's, got a drink, and then walked out and sat on the beach.
Why didn't you stay in Trader Sam's?
There was no room.
Ah,
Yeah.
It was like you walked in, you got a drink, and then they kicked you out. It was that full.
Well,
Dang.
hold on. Did you go into Trader Sam's or did you do the one that was outside?
No,
Because
we
that's
walked
also called
in.
Trader Sam's.
No, we went to inside, got our drinks, and then left.
Oh, that's
And
so
then we
bizarre.
realized there was an
I know.
outside bar, and then we got more drinks outside.
That's so weird. I've never had that happen there. But also, it's usually like wait a half hour to get into Trader Sam's, which is the more I'm thinking about this and the more I'm thinking like about what we're talking about, I'm thinking less that I would recommend Trader Sam's.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely, I don't know what we are anymore. If that sounds weird, like we've never really done the whole like we did our dating thing, but we did long distance. So we never really did like this. I don't know how else to describe it, so this is kind of a new thing for us.
That's fair. So you never really had the date night at Disney experience.
No, I mean, our date nights at Disney was when we were working there, and it was, Papa John's, because
That's
that's
fair.
all we could afford.
You know what? Honestly, I think you should do mini golf, and that's not me saying it sarcastically.
Yes,
I-
mini golf.
Honestly, I think that just based off of how you explained yourself right now and like the situation that you guys have had, I think that's a nice, like, that is how I picture kind of like a first date kind of experience. And I think that might be fun on your 10th anniversary to go have.
on our divorce trip.
But realistically though, like if that's something that you haven't really done and
So here's the thing. We have done mini golf many a time.
boo.
But hold on, hear me out. We've always done it during the day. Like, I don't think we've ever done like night mini golf. So are they
Ooh.
open at night?
That's a problem.
I believe so. Actually, let's look this up.
Yeah. Because
Which one are you looking up? I'll look up the other one.
Fantasia Gardens.
Okay.
That's my
I
favorite.
knew you were going to do Fantasia. You just screamed Fantasia Gardens.
They are open until 9 p.m.
Right. So like we've never
Winter
done like,
Summerland is open till 10, so
Ooh.
and we're staying. No, I guess we are closer to Fantasia, aren't we? Yeah, we are closer to Fantasia.
I can't tell you because, to be completely fair, one, I'm bad with directions, and two, I don't drive in on Disney property.
I'm going to make a personal suggestion for you, shorthand of going to the parks. Like if you're going downtown, if you're going to a water park, like anything like that, get a rental.
The problem for us, and not to turn this into us Disney planning trip thing, but the thing for us has always been, it's just easier to not have to think of anything outside of the bubble. So
Yeah.
not having a car and being on Disney transportation has always kind of just been easier.
So you've never been in a situation where you forgot to pack underwear and had to go to Walmart?
I can promise you that I always overpack everything.
Okay, Mario, you're better than the rest of us. Whatever.
No, so like to the point that I pack more stuff on a Disney trip or honestly any vacation than my wife does. And it always bothers her because I'll pack, like, we're going somewhere for 3 days and I'll pack 4 pairs of pants. And she's like, why do you have more pants than you need in here?
Well, it might snow in Florida. Yeah.
I've always just been under the assumption that more is better, but that's apparently not true.
Well, you could be like me and forget underwear every single time you go down and have to go to Walmart and buy new underwear. So
Again, not to turn this into like an us Disney planning trip discussion, but we, for the first time, last time that we were down there, we did the thing of ordering food not on Disney property and also drove a car off of Disney property. And both of those things felt like sacrilege to me. We had,
unfortunately, that's what Disney's doing now. Like,
well,
they're forcing people into rentals.
yeah. Well, the funny thing was, like, we were planning on driving back because we've never done that. We're like, we want the experience, and let me tell you, driving that far was horrible.
Oh, you did that for that's the worst part of the vacation.
Well, we were thinking about like driving back and stopping along the way,
Oh, okay.
but then we realized that it just by the time we got in the car, we were like, we want to be home. So that was that.
Yeah.
But also, like, the one night that we got there, we didn't eat in the park because we couldn't find anywhere we wanted to eat at. And all of the resort restaurants were like incredibly difficult to get into in the middle of COVID. So we just DoorDashed pizza one night. And that was certainly an experience trying to find a DoorDash driver to deliver to the Poly while it was under construction.
Oh, well, that's your problem. You stayed at Poly. Anyway.
That was probably the best resort that I've ever stayed at, and I will never be able to do it again. But back to the real topic at hand, because we have to finish this discussion.
Yeah, I know.
So we've got a couple things that we have like solidified as like a probably good idea, or at least the things that I thought sounded like you were confirming they were. It was Yeehaw Bob, Beaches and Cream, and Boma. And then we threw a couple other like just random things at you. Was there anything that kind of stuck out to you, or?
Yeah, the Seeds tour.
that stuck out, but not in a good way.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of for me, it's all about the leisure day, right? So like, we've got a lot of afternoon, nighttime things. I guess, is there anything you would suggest in the morning?
That's a tough one.
Like a good breakfast place, or
I am a huge fan of Cameo Cafe's breakfast.
Yes.
Tonga toast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we've ever done breakfast there. I've done lunch there for sure.
Oh, let me tell you again, the height of COVID, staying at Poly, every single morning we were mobile pickup Tonga toast, carry it
That's
back
a
to the room.
fantastic way to start the day.
I will 100% say that is probably the best way to start your day. I don't know how Pop's breakfast is. I feel like I always eat breakfast at the resort when I do eat breakfast, which is not very often.
Okay. So, Polly. I'm writing this stuff down as we go.
So
Like, I'm trying to put a day together, you know?
Yeah, we were kind of just spitballing things. I started to do that, but I don't think we actually like solidified where you should go on what days.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, because this could be interchangeable, right? So like,
Yeah.
I'm just kind of putting together like, oh, if you do this, if you do this, if you do this, you know?
That's fair.
And it could be across multiple days, you know, like we get there and we do the downtown Disney thing, and then the next day we go to Epcot and we haven't drank enough, so then we go over to Polly, you know, like.
Apparently Homecoming has really good breakfast, but I've never been there, so I can't say that that's worth it. This giant stack of French toast that they have as the picture looks incredibly enticing.
I mean, I can't
I had
imagine
my wife
having
French
bad
toast.
breakfast.
Homecoming Disney French toast. Let's just see.
I just sent the picture of it. It is a mountain with a bunch of fruits on it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that grits?
It wouldn't be surprising if it was.
Yeah, I mean, it's Southern, right?
You know, people really don't eat grits up there.
Grits
No.
are nasty.
Oh my goodness.
Grits are disgusting.
What's wrong with you?
Like, grits, off topic again, grits are what I imagine people pour into a machine when they're trying to make like a plastic mold. Those little like plastic pellets that they're melting down. That's grits to me. And it's not like fully melted. It's kind of like in this awkward, malleable state.
Yeah, that's what makes it good.
No.
And then like when it hits
No.
your stomach, now it's like molding into something because there's a chemical reaction happening with your stomach, and it just never ends well. How'd I do? I feel like that was a very scientific answer of what grits are.
Yeah, that sounds fair. I think a couple suggestions we've thrown at you are, I don't know. It's weird to think about like in-park stuff for me at least. And like things that would make a good like slow down thing. I think Oga's is probably the best suggestion so far.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
And Epcot, it's like Epcot to me lately has felt super weird in terms of stuff like that, because I feel like I've done most of the things that I would slow down to do, and they've kind of just been part of my trip now. And then as far as Magic Kingdom, I don't know that there's really anything that you could do that's not like a, you know, thing
Turkey
you
leg.
would do with
There you
kids.
go.
Well, no. So before we started, there was I was looking up like a bunch of like date night at Disney things, and apparently they do like the wine and paint things at some of the resorts,
Really?
which might be fun. I know French Quarter was one of the ones that was listed. I'll pull it up. if my computer would decide it would want to load. Yeah, so apparently you can do like the art classes at Port Orleans, French Quarter, Saratoga Springs, and canvas and wine painting on the boards at Boardwalk Inn. So that one has specifically wine glass painting. But I don't know if there's alcohol involved in those. But either way, that might be a fun little suggestion.
Yeah. I didn't know they did those.
I didn't know they did
Well,
those.
I've stopped taking notes. So at this point, you're just going to have to send me over an itemized schedule.
Well, okay. So I guess now that we've thrown a lot at you, any of those, like, what of those stood out to you that you said that you would feel like you would probably do?
Well, I don't know anymore because my wife has me questioning things now. Um,
Well, what does John want to do?
honey, do you want to go get drunk at Disney? Okay. She yelled at me.
I can't wait till this return episode. I genuinely cannot wait till this return episode. So Alicia can tell us.
Nothing we suggested.
Then blame it on me. John's an asshole. You guys are fine. I know how this is going to go already. Yeah, I don't know. She's not. I don't know that she would do the painting thing. I keep coming back to just the take it easy, go to bars. That's kind of where we're landing, I think.
Honestly, I am finding more as we have gone to Disney a lot more. I'm noticing that is the kind of trip that we genuinely remember, are the ones where we're not running around, we're not going to a million places. We can take our time, and like, it doesn't bother us if we stand in line for an hour at Flight of Passage because we really have nowhere to be.
Well, you get to enjoy each other.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be more of a fun trip for you, especially if you get to do some of these places. Like, honestly, even sitting down and getting ice cream and sitting at the counter at Beaches and Cream, like, that is a fun memory that I have of our last trip. And we didn't do anything fun, like, special during that, that visit to Beaches and Cream, but that's just a fun little memory that sticks out. And I think that those are going to be the ones that I think you'll have the most fun with while you're there.
Okay. So at this point, it sounds like we're not scheduling anything. It sounds like we're just coming up with a list of things that we think would be good to do.
Yes.
So what I need you to do for me is just send me over. Because at this point, I don't know where we've landed. Send me over all the things that we've done, and then we'll come back and tell you what we did on the list.
That's fair. I started typing a couple of things on there. Here's what we have so far. Feel free to throw other things at me that we may have missed. But we have Oga's, La Cava. I put a big red line through behind the seeds. We're not doing that. We have Chudo Gusto Wine Cellar, Beaches and Cream, Yeehaw Bob on the first day instead of a park, Boma, the Edison, Homecoming, and that's pretty much it. And mini golf. We did suggest mini golf. I have to throw
nighttime mini golf. Okay. Well, I guess at this point it's just a matter of us figuring it out and then coming back and telling you how those things went.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to wrap this up, is not give you a schedule like we initially planned. But
and for the most part, it did turn into an episode just about food. Even though I said I didn't think we'd have a whole episode on that.
Brian and I could talk about food all day, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I feel like I'm missing something on this list. We did the Edison. I put Paradiso 37 on there.
We talked about Jock Lindsay's for a little bit, but
we also talked about T-Rex.
And
We
that
put
was
a big red line through that one too.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, listen, you didn't ask Alicia on that one. I'm not going to cross it out for you until you get the confirmation.
I'm not going to now.
Well, I think that, well, no, you've probably done Tiffin's before. That was another one I was going to recommend.
We haven't. We have not done Tiffin's.
I'm throwing that on the bottom of the list. I think that's a good one to I will specifically say if you're gonna do Tiffin's, sit on the what's the Nomad Lounge? You could sit on the patio there, right? And do
Yep.
like small plates. I would say do that because that's probably a good idea for extending your Animal Kingdom day a little bit if you don't cut it.
Okay. So Tiffin's or the Nomad Lounge?
I mean, do either depending on which one because you can get the same drinks at both of them. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. I'm looking that up. We've never done either because my parents keep telling me it's not good, and I'm starting to
Really?
learn because my mom's a picky eater too. So what my mom doesn't like, I'm starting to learn as I get into my advanced age of mid-30s that I actually enjoy those things. So
Nomad Lounge is really good for the drinks. It's been a minute since we've been there,
Yeah.
but the drinks at Nomad Lounge are pretty good, and I know their small plates are really good too. I think Beth has said a couple times that she likes them. I could be wrong about that.
Oh,
no,
they got
I believe
tacos.
she has.
They got tacos. That's all I need.
But Tiffin's is obviously going to be a more,
Yeah, like sit down.
a nice upscale sit down restaurant. Cool. So
Well, I
will
think
throw
we've
them
got
on.
enough. Yeah,
I
we've
definitely think
enough.
you've got enough. I don't want to overload you with too much, but
Well, I'd like to keep some of my money too. You know.
no, it's okay. I had Victoria and Albert's on here, but I did cut that pretty quickly.
I am not packing a suit to go to Florida.
I agree. That's a
That
good choice.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.